everyone. So today I'm going to tell you some very important concept that is called as a modular approach. So what is exactly a modular approach? Okay. So when we want to develop a software product, right? When we want to develop a software product, I told you that entire software cannot be built at a glance. So what we need to do for that? Okay, so what we need to do for that? So in the earlier model, that is waterfall model, I told you that first they keep on collecting the requirement, and then the requirements are converted into design, and then the design goes for implementation and unit testing, then integration and system testing, and finally we go for operation and maintenance. All right. Well, in implementation and unit testing, what we do after collecting requirements and then making the designs, we go for modular approach. That is, we develop modules. The software is divided into a set of modules, and then the functionality of modules is decided. Code is written for each of the module, and then unit testing is done on each of the modules. Suppose we may have a 1 to n module. All individual modules are implemented. We write code for each individual module, we test the code for each individual module, and then we integrate all the modules, and then our system is ready. Okay, so what is a module? A module is nothing but a collection of source files, build settings that allow you to divide your project into discrete units of functionality. So modules are nothing but what? Small working units. Okay, or you can say that the entire software is divided into small units called as modules. Okay, entire project or your entire software product is divided into small units called as module. Each module will have code, okay, which is ready to execute, right? So module is a collection of what, or you can say a set of functions. There are n number of functions. There may be n number of functions in this module. So what are these functions? These are nothing but the set of activities which are carried out by this module. So module is nothing but what? It is a collection of source files which are ready to get executed, or it may be a collection or set of processes. Okay, so a software product can be divided into n number of modules. Each module will have its own functionality. So a module is also called as a unit. Module is also called as unit. All right. Okay. So project can have 1 to n modules. We can have n number of modules in a project. That depends upon the functionality of your project. So one module is dependent on another module, or sometime a module may work independently. So when one module can use another module, that is called as a dependency. So each modules are dependent on each other. They are interdependent on each other. That is called as coupling. So dependency factor between the two modules is called as what? Coupling. Each module can be independently built, tested, okay, and debugged. So each module will have its own code. It can be tested individually. Debug is nothing but all about finding the errors, finding the or you can say that the failures or errors. Basically debugging is all about finding and correcting the errors. So each module will have its own set of code, and each module is debugged, that is executed, errors are identified, and then various testings are done on each of the modules. So this is all about modular approach. So in this way, I keep on telling you that a software development process is all about a collection of modules. So when we want to develop a software, it is first divided into modules. We may have 1 to n module. Each module will have its own set of functions, or those are called as each module will have its own set of functionalities. And then each of the module is executed, it is tested, errors are debugged, changes are made. Okay, so in this way n number of modules are constructed. So we follow an approach of unit development, that is module by module development when it comes to software. We will not develop the entire software at a glance, but we divide the software into modules. And after each module is tested, we link one module to another module, that is called as what? Coupling. So after performing the entire task of this module, okay, when this module is ready, or you can say that this module is functionally ready, we link it to the another module which is also functionally ready. So here we can say that the two modules are interrelated here, and that is called as coupling. Fine. Okay, so this is about coupling. So now I will tell you one example, okay, on how exactly the modular approach is carried out in the software development. Okay, so here you can see that this is our ATM system. Okay, so we have some modules here. So we have a login module, right? Then we have a pin change module. So I'll just clear it. We have first, this is the central system. Okay, this is our central system. So we have login module, we have pin change, we have withdrawal, we have cash transfer module, we have fast cash module, and we have mini statement module. So when it comes to a software development, what happens is that we will first develop individual modules. That is, we first develop login module. Login module will have its own set of functionalities. It will have its own set of processes. So login module is also called as an individual login unit. So it will have its own credentials, it will have its own set of functions, and it will have its own processes. So after login, the fast cache module may be developed. So fast cache is all about withdrawal. So withdrawal may require all the details, right, from login. Then what about this withdraw module? This is a cache withdraw module where we specify the cache. Pin change, whenever you want to change the pin. Mini statement at the time of checking the balance and all other transactions or your account details. So cash transfer module, when we want to transfer the cash through ATM or when we want to deposit the cash through ATM. So all these are the modules. Are you getting it now? So when I want to develop an ATM software, I cannot develop the software in one glance, or it is not a one short project. We have to develop module by module. So where you can see each module is developed functionally. Each modules are developed individually. Each module goes under some testing, debugging, and then when that module is ready, or when all other modules are ready, they are interrelated through the code. All modules are linked through the code, that is called as a dependency, which is coupling. So linking all the modules together, that is called as coupling. And the way how the modules work, that is a cohesion. So when all the modules are ready, they are linked together, and then our ATM software is ready to be used. So this is nothing but what? A modular approach. Okay. So this is called as a modular approach of developing a software. So all our software systems, guys, okay, all our software systems are developed in this way. So whenever we are referring any of the software development process or software development model, this is what exactly happens in implementation and unit testing phase as well as integration phase. Okay, so hope you understood what is a modular concept, or what exactly happens when the software is divided into modules. All right. Okay, so now let me go towards implementation, that is your another model. Okay, so I think you are clear with it. So let me tell you about the next model. Our next model is incremental model. Okay, so what exactly happens in the incremental model? Okay, so first all the requirements are collected, and then requirements are developed correctly, and they are sorted, and each of the requirement is divided into multiple standalone modules. Just now, as I told you, how the system, okay, or how the requirements are taken and how the modular approach is carried out. So all your requirements are collected, and then they are divided into multiple standalone modules. Okay, yeah, and Each of the module, suppose we have 4 modules, just now we saw login and cash withdrawal, fast cash, we have 5 to 6 modules. Each of the module in incremental model will undergo the system or software development process. It follows each module has to undergo all these phases. Okay, each module has to undergo development and design, okay, implementation, testing, right? So it has to undergo all the phases. It has to go for design and development, and then again test the code whether it is working correctly, and then finally implement. Implement is nothing but what here? All your units are having exe files or they are ready to be deployed, right? So when you design, you write the code, you test the code, and after testing the code, you finally integrate all the code. Okay, you integrate all the code. So this is module wise. So all these activities are carried out module wise. So build one. Okay, so build one is all about what? Build one is carried out for all the modules. So this is the first, you can say that the first cycle. In the first cycle, what happens? Each module's designing is made individually. All the modules designings are made, development is made, testing is made on each individual model, and then implementation is it is nothing but what? Integration and system testing. So all the units testing, right? So if you have n number of modules, these activities are carried out for all the modules individually, right? Suppose we have module 1, these all activities are carried out for module 1. Suppose we have n number of modules, so these all activities are carried out for all the other n modules, and then we get build 1, and then after application of all these steps on every module, right? On every module, what we get? We get a build 1. It means after the modular approach is completed, after combining the modules, we go for system testing, and then we finally get one system that is called as what? Build 1. Okay, we get one release or the first cycle of the development, that is build 1. Now what happens? So the build 1 is tested again, and if there are any problems, okay, or if we notice that this build 1 is having, or we can say that in this first approach of software development, we find that there are some problems, then what will happen? It will go for the second build, that is called as what? Build 2. Okay. As I told you that when we have, okay, when we in the sense when the developers find some issues in this build 1, they carry out this process once again, okay, and they notice that the previous release, whatever problems are there in the previous release, those all are removed from the new build or new cycle. So whatever errors or whatever flaws or whatever failures they notice during the first cycle of development, those all will be removed or are updated in the second build, right? So in this way we get one more build, that is a second one. Alright, now after checking that this build is not working correctly, they may go for another build, that is called as what? Build 3. Okay, so when they develop build 3, again they find that there are some problems, they may go for another build, that is build n. So what happens? In this way they go on forming the builds, that is build is nothing but what? See, it is given here. Every subsequent subsequent release, okay, they are given here, just see that every subsequent release of the module adds functions to the previous release. The process continues until the complete system is achieved. So what we do, we keep on doing the changes here, okay, so we keep on doing the changes. So what are these changes? See, what are these changes that we do? We keep on updating our cycle, we keep on doing these updations. So as we do the updations, we see that at every phase one new build is obtained. Okay, now let me read it once again for you. See, incremental model is a process of software development where requirements are divided into multiple standalone modules. In this model, each module goes through the requirement, design, implementation and testing phase. So each of the module will undergo this. Every subsequent release of the module adds function to the previous release, and every time the changes are updated. So this process continues until the complete system is achieved, right? So this process is carried out until and unless you get a final software product. Fine. Okay, so this is a bit explanation of phases, and this is quite easy for you, I know that. All right, see, so we have requirement analysis where we collect the requirements, we carry out the functional requirements. Then we have design and development where we go for designing, and then testing. Okay, so it checks the performance, and then the implementation, it enables the coding phase of the development system. It involves the final coding. So here we collect the requirements, we design, and then we write the code module wise, we test it module wise, and then in implementation we combine all the code and we get the final system, and we do the system testing. It means the final testing is carried out once when we get the final code. Okay, now let me tell you about when to use this incremental model, right? So incremental model is used when the requirements are very excellent, or you can say that the requirements are superior. It means we have a perfect set or blend of requirements. Then when a project has a lengthy development schedule, it means we feel that it needs a lot of time for this project development, or the project is lengthy, we may go modular approach, and we may go for this where we may develop the software, then just try to use it, and then what are the problems in that, just find an updated version of that old software. For example, developing an ATM software and just installing it into the ATM and just checking where it is going wrong, just collecting that information, collecting that feedback from the customer, and again redesign, and that will be the build too. So in this way, updation is made with every cycle, and this process is carried out, it keeps on changing. Okay, this model, it makes a cycle of new versions until we get a full-fledged final developed version. Okay, then these are the things where we can exactly go for incremental model. When we have a less amount of skilled trainers, or the customer wants a product which should be released quickly, or you can develop prioritized requirements first. When we, as I told you here, we develop a standalone modules, we take module wise development. So you can decide that which module you can develop first, whether you want a login module, or you want a pin change module, or you want a cash transfer module. So here you can prioritize the modules, and then we can decide that which module you can develop first. Okay, so this is all about like minimum amount of things where you can use the incremental model. Okay, let me highlight some advantages. Okay, let me highlight some advantages of incremental model. So here errors are easy to recognize, it is easier to test and debug, it is more flexible, simple to manage risk because it is handled during its iteration, the client gets important functionality early, right? So why errors are easy to recognize? Errors are easy to recognize because we do modular approach, right? Module by module development. Then all the phases are repeated for every individual module, right? For every module, we repeat design, development, implementation and testing. Hence, we can easily identify where there is an error. Yeah, and second is, as I told you, it is very easy to test and debug. Why? Because we do all the activities module by module. We take module 1, suppose we take module of login, and then we repeat all the phases. We do requirement collection for login activity, we go for system design for login activities, we go for development, unit testing, integration, then all other things. So it becomes easy to find out the error as well as to do the testing on the specific standalone modules. It's more flexible. Yeah, it is more flexible. Why? Because see, all these factors like easy usage or finding the errors and debugging and testing, when it becomes easy, it is considered as the softwares are more flexible. It's simple to manage risk because it is handled during its iteration. Yes, because whatever problems are there, you can easily find out those problems during the process of development itself or during the modular approach. The client gets important functionality early. Yes, suppose we are developing it module by module, and we are what I can say, each of the phases module has to undergo all the phases. Hence, if any functionality is missing out there or needed, it becomes easily identifiable or recognizable, and it can be easily added in the next build. Okay. So disadvantage of incremental models. So what are the disadvantages? We need a correct planning to go to this incremental model. So cost is a bit high, and well-defined module interfaces are needed, as it says that whatever interfaces you're going to use, those are very important here. Okay. Yes, so let me quickly highlight what we saw here in the incremental model. So incremental model, we saw this diagram and I explained you thoroughly about the diagram. I explained you all about the phases and when to use this incremental model, and we also saw what are the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so please go through it, and hope you're following the lectures. So after incremental model, we'll be going to the next model, right? Okay, so enjoy your time and happy learning. It's Sneh Nagaonkar here signing off, and see you soon. Bye.